And I took a chance on Roy and his community. And I mean, he knows his stuff, but I also know the importance of paying for education to get there faster and not trying to reinvent the wheel myself. It wasn't about money. It was about helping someone who didn't have anything and she really needed, she was desperate and I wanted to help her.
We came across a lot of challenges on the journey. You remember, right? But you fought through them and you kept going. And now you landed one of the biggest first deals in the digital real estate mastermind. How much did you close it out for, Lisa?
The total was $60,000.
Oh my gosh.
I'm feeling like a winner, feeling like a winner, feeling like a winner. I don't want to just make money and then don't do it. Like I'm on a mission to be consistent no matter what the deal is, so I don't have to fly as much. It's really going to be a headache, but I'm really getting my feet wet. So I'm going to take a chance on the PPC.
That's how you survive when you're doing paid ads too. You have to have multiple exit strategies.
It takes a very special type of entrepreneur to be able to adapt as fast as you do. And this entire journey, you've been learning and adapting at an extreme rate you don't even understand.
So I'm excited, but I'm not getting overexcited. It is what it is. If this doesn't close, I know many more.
I'm glad it's working. I want to say I am so proud of you, Lisa. Honestly, I'm super, super proud of you.
What's going on, Lisa?
Hey!
Lisa is now officially a certified closer. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling like a winner, feeling like a winner, feeling like a winner.
Lisa has a very special story, being a full-time flight attendant to still being able to dedicate as much time as you did to an entire new business model. But the why to build a real estate empire is what kept you going. And I'm sure some other whys that you're going to share in here as well. But the way you were able to juggle both and like kind of live this double life and still wake up motivated to keep pushing, even when we came across a lot of challenges on the journey. You remember, right? We came across a lot of challenges, but you fought through them and you kept going. And now you landed one of the biggest first deals in the digital real estate mastermind. So, all right, we have Ricky over here. Ricky was my mentor whenever I got into this industry. Usually we don't do special guests, but Ricky played a huge part in this deal closing as he's the one who found the buyer. If you guys don't know, Ricky has brought buyers to a ton of my deals. One of my biggest deals being $100,000, and it was because of Ricky, the one who brought the buyer to me. So without Ricky's guidance, his wisdom, and just him being an overall leader and a mentor to not only me, but Lisa and the rest of the community, we wouldn't be here without you. So Ricky is going to play a huge part on this deal. You guys learn more about him as well, but his specialty is dispo. Ricky, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling amazing. Really good. Especially that Lisa got her deal closed. It's just made me feel really happy. It's a really big deal.
I never get to ask my coaches, but like, what was your experience working with Lisa all the way until like when it finally closed? What was your reaction?
It was pretty good. I had her CC'd on all the emails with the title company. I was explaining to her because we had some problems come up, like every big deal, you always have things that make us nervous. But I had Lisa on everything CC'd. I was explaining to her all the problems and the solutions for the problems, and we got it to the closing table and done. Got funded.
Yeah, I love it. And we're going to get into this big deal because, like I said, this is one of the biggest deals in the digital real estate mastermind. But before we get into all that, Lisa, what were you doing before wholesale real estate? What was life before wholesale real estate? How did you even find this industry? Give us the whole story.
So I am a full-time flight attendant. I do have real estate background, but not wholesaling real estate. It's a realtor. I've been a realtor licensed since '04, not practicing, just keeping my license active. And I did not know what wholesale was until one day I came across a video, Roy the Closer. He actually had videos where he was talking to sellers, helping other students, and I just decided that I think I want to find out what this is about, because being a realtor, I'm not making money as the money's not flowing like I hear these wholesalers. And I was interested to find out what exactly is wholesaling, and let me see if this is the right community for me that I can join and make some money.
Awesome. And that's exactly what you did. So you get into this program. Well, first I want to know, why didn't you just try to figure it out on the realtor side? Why completely pivot to, I like to say, the dark side of real estate, but wholesale real estate?
Well, I didn't want to do that anymore because a lot of the realtors that I know, the truth is most realtors make an average if 25,000 a year. And most realtors hold a license like myself. And then you have a few of the 1%ers. So it's everything that was entailed. And then also hearing the buzzword wholesaling, and then looking at a lot of Roy's videos and just like watching one after the other and then finding out what wholesaling is all about. And I said, this is the direction that I want to go. It sounds really cool. So that is what piqued my interest of wholesaling in lieu of the realtor route.
Yeah. So wholesaling piques your interest. You come across my video. You say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to commit. I'm going to invest in myself. All right. You make the investment. How are you feeling? It's your first day. You're in the program. What's going through your mind?
Well, one thing I must say is that one of the things that like motivated me even more is me being a mature auntie. I said, having a son who's 23, and I know things are changing. And I said, I want to keep up with the pace of the younger generation. And this young man, I think he knows what he's doing. His videos are awesome. It makes sense. So I said, I want to learn from someone who's a little bit more current with the trends. And let me give this a try. So I was a little hesitant at first, but I didn't get the feeling that this was a scam. Honestly, the energy was positive. I'm pretty smart enough to know when something could be a scam, but I also know the importance of paying for education to get there faster and not trying to reinvent the wheel myself. So it didn't bother me making the investment. I just wanted to make sure that it was making the best investment with the best community.
Yeah. You get in, you start looking at the videos, and now it's time for you to pull a market. We get on the call. I believe I'm the one who chose your market, or was it Dom?
No, you did. You helped me.
I chose your first market.
Yes.
And then we'll fast forward through this, but you started off cold calling. And I remember you weren't the biggest fan, but you showed up with a smile every single day. And you smiled and dialed until you got some leads, right? Let's talk about the challenges with your first marketing strategy, cold calling. How'd that whole era go?
Well, in the beginning, because I had never cold called before, it was a little frustrating. And then I felt kind of like a fish in a big ocean, not really knowing what to do. So to tell you the truth, I had to get used to cold calling. I don't have a problem talking to people. Of course, with my job, I'm used to talking to people. I'm a very personable person, but I didn't feel as comfortable. And then I had to kind of keep the mindset that it's all about the numbers. But I kind of felt like at some point, maybe there would be another channel for me to get clients, get leads. It took a minute. I kept consistent, but with my schedule, it was a little challenging, although I know that it was possible because I did, continue to call through my schedule, but it was a little rocky in the beginning for me.
Yeah. And the biggest note I want the viewers to take away is there's so many different ways to get leads. So you just need to find the one that fits you, fits your budget, fits your schedule, and fits your situation, right? And once you find that, that's when you're able to actually start catching a flow of getting motivated sellers every single day and kind of curating a schedule around your business to make sure your day-to-day 9 to 5 isn't affected, or your day-to-day life with kids and family isn't affected, while also building this business. So then you make the pivot to TikTok. Let's talk about this.
Yes. So I had someone who mentioned it to me about doing the TikTok, the PPC. I wasn't very versed on it, and they explained it to me. But also getting on the weekly calls with Roy's group, I did ask the question to one of the gentlemen on a Thursday, and he did explain to me what it was. So I just decided that I was going to take a chance because I have income and it's not something I'm doing full time. I said, I'll take the chance to commit to see if this works and how this works. So I was, delve into PPC to give it a chance, and it worked.
Yeah. And to the viewers, what PPC is, I never thought TikTok leads work. ever, right? I'm like, don't get a bunch of 13-year-olds filling out sell my property. But the TikTok platform is so smart and it knows exactly the age, the demographic, who owns a property, all that. Like your phone listens to you, like if you didn't know. So you're running ads on TikTok to get distressed homeowners to fill out a form and apply to sell their property. Then Lisa goes in, calls them and says, hey, I saw you fill out my form. How can I help you? And then closes the deal. So you come across this lead on TikTok. Give us a little bit of the lead breakdown when you first got it.
So I come across this lead. This seller, of course, is someone we want is really motivated. And of course, the Wednesday calls that you have with Dispo, with Ricky are the bomb.
And Ricky, she's been telling me this since the beginning. She's just like, yeah, Roy, your calls are good, and Parker's calls are good too. But Ricky's, she gets hyped every time. Ricky's calls are the best. Ricky, go ahead.
Oh, man.
A little bit about what you do on those calls.
I basically break down dispo thinking outside the box, because everybody thinks, okay, get on Facebook, put it on Facebook Market, call other JBs, get on Facebook groups, reach out to people. And I just break it down and I just explain to them where to find the buyers, how to think about the deal, to know which type of buyer to target before even getting the deal under contract. You basically just think different about the deal, not just, just thinking outside the box.
Yep. Doing it more strategically. Like, Ricky, you know this about this industry. Our industry is so throw things at the wall and just hope something sticks. Nobody ever approaches it with a strategy. So the fact that you're able to approach Dispo with a strategy, I think it's absolutely genius. So you get this deal, Lisa, you're joining the Wednesday calls. What happens from there?
So on Wednesday calls, the community, we come in the Dispo and Ricky will show us, he'll actually do the, breakdown of comping using all the tools and how he does it. And I actually sent him a message in Slack. And he said, bring that to the Wednesday call. So I brought it to the Wednesday call and we went over and he just told me it really, really looked good. And, he went through the ABCs. And this was the first Wednesday I brought it to him. But it was the second week when I said to him, because, you get vested when you talk to the sellers, because our job is not to persuade you to sell. It's to help you and assist you and honestly kind of be a savior in a minute, that you need me, that I'm going to save you and I care about your situation and I am going to do the best that I can. So I built a rapport with the seller and I said to Ricky, when Ricky did the comping and, he gave me from A to Z what to do, how to do it, all of the information. I said, Ricky, I need you to help me. I said, I need this lady's house and land sold. I said, she has nothing and we need to get it done. And then, because I'm pretty sure Ricky is because he's busy and, so and he says, you know what? I'm going to help you. And he says, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And he got on it ASAP. He made me feel comfortable because I knew this is a deal. It wasn't about money. It was about helping someone who didn't have anything and she was desperate and I wanted to help her. So that's how the connection came with Ricky and I, that he said, okay, I'm going to help you.
The formula to a very big deal, which we'll talk about the numbers on this one, is actually pretty simple. It's two things. A seller in deep pain that needs to sell their property fast for cash. And then the second part is an investor who's looking for an investment property and your deal is so good, he can make a huge return off of it. That's how you find a big deal. And if you can master just combining those two things, every single deal, that's how you make a lot of money in this business. Now, I've worked with Ricky for many years, Lisa. All right. He doesn't take on everybody's deals. He doesn't know, but he's so picky with deals. Like, it's so annoying. Like, I'll have a deal. I'm thinking it's good, Lisa. I'll say to Ricky, he's like, no, I'm not dispoing that. What you mean? He's like, no, it's not a good deal. I don't want to dispo it. Right. He's so picky when it comes to people who send him deals and picking the right ones because he doesn't want to waste his time. Ricky, what are you looking for in a good deal? Why did you take this one on? What are the components of this one that made you say, all right, let me help Lisa out?
Oh, this one specifically, it was right in front of the freeway. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was around 30 minutes from San Antonio, kind of in the middle of nowhere in this town called Pleasanton, but it was in front of the freeway and it had no restrictions. And then Lisa told me the price that she had it for. And I was like, ding, 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 ding. I can call any investor and they'll be interested in this just because the value that they can get out of this property. And I was like, I'm going to help you, Lisa. Let's run it. This is a deal.
Yeah. And whenever you're looking at deals and you're analyzing deals, maybe for people who are in the mastermind that want to send you some deals, what are you looking for in a deal that makes you say, I'm on board?
The numbers. The numbers are a big part. If you're only adding a 10K spread on the deal and you have no space to negotiate with the buyer, I don't get motivated because, most of the time the numbers are all over the place. As long as your numbers are good and we have a good spread on the deal, I'm going to help you. Yeah.
So Lisa sends you the deal. Now it's time for you to go find a buyer. What strategy did you use to find this buyer? And what was it about this buyer that made him say, this is a good deal? Like, tell us about the buyer, I guess.
Well, I saw the property. It was right across the freeway. I got on Regrid. I show all my students how to use Regrid. It's an amazing tool. I love it. I zoomed out the map and I saw the neighbors. And I saw that right next door, there's a guy that owns a racetrack right next door. The first thing I did was like, this guy owns a racetrack. He doesn't have parking in his racetrack. He does have parking, but I know this guy would love to expand his piece of land more. So I skip traced the guy, called him. The first call, I couldn't get a hold of him. I showed my students how to get a hold of the family. I called the son. For some reason, I don't even know how I found the son. I just know I called the son. He was a junior. And I left a voicemail. The son didn't answer. The son called me back 5 minutes later. Yo, my dad is interested. I sent him your number. He's going to give you a call shortly. The dad called me 30 minutes later and he was super interested, motivated.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Crazy. Wow. Being creative when it comes to looking for buyers, that's what you have to do. That creativity, that's the skill you have to develop. It's not just posting it on a Facebook group. It's getting your hands dirty. Bro, that is so smart. I've never done that before.
I knew the deal had so much value that aside from that guy was interested the first day. The next 2 days, I kept marketing the deal to other regular flippers and buy and hold investors. And I presented the deal to them just because I knew the value, right? And it was a great price right in front of the freeway with a lot of frontage, which is important when you're selling land, especially in front of the freeway. And I had 3 more people interested. So we had 4 buyers that were doing research. The first one, the neighbor, he was just the fastest one. And me and Lisa wanted to help the seller as soon as possible. So we just went with him.
That's amazing. How are you vetting your buyers? Because like a lot of people, I know I made this mistake. A buyer comes to me. He promises all these things, and all of a sudden he ghosts, right? How do you avoid that?
The way I find my buyers, I know they're investors for sure. Usually it's hard to talk to buyers and to trust them when they come from Facebook because it's just a random guy on Facebook. But the way I teach the students to find buyers, you're finding buyers based on the work they have done before. You can see how many properties they have flipped. In public records, you'll be able to see all the properties they flipped where they live and the markets that they like just by looking at data before getting on the phone with them. So that's the first thing I do. I look at the data and then I give them a call.
Awesome. So you find the buyer, you're going through this whole closing. Now, Lisa, whenever I was closing one of my biggest deals with Ricky, he knows I hit him up every day. What's going on? Is everything okay? Is title good? Like, what's going on? As Ricky's taking care of the deal and he's CCing you on all these emails, what did you learn throughout the entire experience of closing a deal? Size.
I learned so much. And one of the biggest things I learned is to strike when the iron is hot. When I tell you Ricky was on it like hotcakes, I mean, he was on it. But I must say, I knew that Ricky was the bomb from the dispo class. And I mean, he knows his stuff. It's just experience and he's been consistent. But to answer your question, to expand on that, is that what I learned is how to interact with the title companies. I learned the follow-up. I also learned how to reach out to the neighbors and like to the kids if I can't get in contact with the neighbors. And because this was land, I also learned about like if it's in a rural area, look at the nearest biggest town. It was kind of like the roadmap. I learned so much. I took notes. I just learned a lot. I just learned from A to Z. And honestly, I didn't have to do too much because Ricky just took me by the hand, so to speak, and just said, follow my lead. And I just followed his, lead. And I just took notes of everything he did. So I learned the whole process. And interestingly enough, it was to me, being a first deal, it was not an easy breezy deal. You know what I mean? It was like a mobile home with land. It was in pretty much Timbuktu. So I learned how to do a deal like this that I feel confident enough to have him help me with the next one. And I learned the importance of having the relationships with buyers as well as reaching out to potential. So having more than one egg in your basket. That's what I learned as well.
That's the biggest thing I took away from you, Ricky, as well, when I was working with you, is how you build relationship with the buyers. Just the same way you build rapport with the sellers, you need to do the same thing with your buyers. And that's so important, especially if you want to establish yourself in a market. Lisa, the viewers are on the edge of their seat. For your first ever wholesale deal, you had never closed a deal before this, right?
No, my first one.
When did you find out about wholesale real estate, this industry?
I found out about wholesaling earlier this year because I signed up for your course in March. So it was like February is when I started doing a little bit of research. So February, and I signed up in March. So when I decided to say, okay, I'm going to commit to this, I just happened to see your video. And I just said, I'm going to try this young man. He knows what he's doing. He has good energy and he's young like my son and he is really doing his thing. So I'm going to take a chance. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You found out about wholesaling in February. You take the leap saying, I'm not going to be just at this 9 to 5. I want more. I want to build an empire. This deal was in what state? Have you ever been to the city that it closed in?
Not the city. I've been to, but not to. Yeah.
You closed on a deal you never saw in person. How much did you close it out for, Lisa?
The total was $60,000.
Oh my gosh, Ricky! when you saw the assignment fee, what was your thoughts?
I was like, when I knew how much money we're gonna make, I'm like, yo, Lisa, we have to double close this. We don't want this buyer to see how much money we're
60,000.
Oh man.
That is crazy. All right. Now I want to ask this question for you guys. Whenever you guys first came across this industry, you were just hoping for maybe 10,000, maybe an extra 5,000. Ricky, I know you got to go here in a little bit too, but you were just looking for extra, maybe 5,000, maybe 10,000. After closing a deal of this size, what advice would you have to yourself when you first started to let them know that it's possible?
To just take a chance on yourself, invest in yourself, listen to your instincts when you decide on having a mentor and do the work. Because the only thing that works is the work, is doing it. You can read many books on swimming, but it's not until you jump in the water that you know how to swim.
Yeah.
And I took a chance on Roy and his community, although there were times I was doubting, but work works and being consistent and taking a chance.
Ricky, how about yourself?
Well, when I first started, I put myself against the wall. I was like, I quit my job.
Yeah.
My friend called me. He's like, yo, I'm working for this, I'm wholesaling. I was like, okay, I'm going. I quit my job the same day at no call, no show. And I just ran with it and I applied myself. I learned how to get on the phone, sell deals. And the first time I ever saw, a lot of people don't know this, but the first time I ever saw $5,000 in my bank account was when I got into wholesaling.
Wow.
Before I got into wholesaling, I never, ever, the max I had in my account was like $2,500. So
that is crazy.
My advice is don't quit. It's going to get hard. It's going to get real difficult. Your emotions are going to make you go crazy. Just meditate and don't quit. Keep going because everybody's going to make it. This is easy. Once you get it, it's like, just do it.
Yeah. I love it. I appreciate you sharing that. Ricky, I know you got to go here. Is there anything you want to leave off with the viewers or Lisa?
Hop into wholesaling, man. I'm here to help anybody that gets it. Anybody that joins, I'm going to be your dispo coach. I'm going to help you I'm going to help you find all the buyers, how to analyze the deals and how to think outside the box, which is the most important thing when dispoing, thinking outside the box. That's about it. Thank you, Roy, for your time. Thank
Appreciate you, Ricky. Peace
All
out.
right, guys. Bye.
And Lisa, we'll continue it.
Okay.
So, Lisa, congratulations on closing your first deal for over 60,000 on your first deal. All right, you went through a lot of challenges. You went from cold calling to hiring VAs and also going into TikTok. Like, how are you adapting so fast? How are you knowing when to move on to the next thing?
First of all, one thing I learned from you is once I finished this deal, I thought, okay, let me try other channels. And one thing that you said to me is, Lisa, don't do that. If this worked for you, keep working it, because a lot of people make money from one channel and then they just all over the place with other channels. So for me, it's, I'm going to work this until it doesn't work anymore. Just continue to work it. I mean, and I may do 80%. And as I build up more, because I am injecting more in the business, I may, do maybe a cold caller here, but continue to do that. But don't stop doing what's working. And then maybe as I stretch and invest more, to do that into another channel, get a VA like you had in your course, to have VAs call as well. And another thing that I am learning is just be open to change and also just trust the process.
Yeah. Now, trusting the process is 100% easier said than done. But in order to actually trust the process, you have to trust in your why. Lisa, throughout all the challenges that you went through on this journey, what was your why that made you keep going?
So my why that keeps me going is to retire myself from the plantation. That's what I call it. In my why, and just, because I have been, working full time with my flight attendant job, is that because I am, a little bit mature, is that I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. And I would like to leave a legacy for my son and my future grandkids and great grandkids. And not only that, I love real estate and I would like to do, other things, continue the wholesaling, but maybe, get my feet wet in burrs or rentals or fix and flips. So that is really my why, is to leave a legacy and to never have to worry about any political arena, and know that I'm going to be okay if I, keep myself open to real estate, which is always going, in my opinion, is going to be the best thing. And then also, and continue to invest in the stock market, but just always have a cushion and have options so that I can live the life that I want and not just depend on a job. And have the option that if I want to continue to work or, at some point retire a little early. So that's my why, just to leave a legacy for my family and to live the life that I want to live.
I love it. I love it. Lisa, we appreciate you coming on the episode of Certified Closers. Congrats on your monster deal. I guess before you go, is there anything that you want to say to the viewer who's a little bit older and they're just like, can I actually do this? Is this for like the young folks? Like, can I really do this? Too much technology. What advice do you have for them?
My advice is take a chance on yourself. And my advice is to join this community, because what I can honestly say, between Roy and Ricky and Dominique and Parker, they are a solid team. And then I think the community members are just so awesome. So my advice is to take the chance and to learn from the younger generation, and then we can add something being mature to that. Take a chance. And there's other, older, maybe 40-something-year-olds in the community. So just take a chance, and everyone is there to help you in this group. Honestly, it's about a team, and that's what it's about. So I would definitely recommend take a chance on yourself and just give yourself options, because I know oftentimes when people, mature, as I like to say, is that they're stuck in their way, and then they don't think that someone younger can teach them something. But life is changing and evolving. So to keep relevant, you have to evolve and learn from the younger generation, and then bring your wisdom to that. So just be open to getting in these communities where the youth and the younger generation, and then integrating with our experience and taking that chance, because your generation is the future.
We appreciate you, Lisa. Auntie Lisa, the absolute top closer.
Rich auntie.
Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for inspiring the viewers. If you're someone who's watching this and you're not inspired and you're not ready, fired up to go close deals, like, I don't know what to tell you. You might have to go rewind and watch it over and over again and take notes, because there were so many gems dropped in this episode. As always, thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.